muted either. God, I still can't believe that we had such a long talk. This thing is muted.
Seems like my in-game mic should be on, so hopefully people are listening to us also inside the game. Meanwhile, Ravens, they already banned the Ink and Mars. Wolf team banning DP, which seemed like the better hero on Tavo's hand. But still, like, Wolf team, they need to decide, are they banning like TB, are they banning Duza? Because very likely the hero that they don't ban is the hero that they'll be playing against.
I mean, one thing that I did discuss with Bowie yesterday, one thing that I really hate to see, and every single time a team does it, I despise it, is I see Mars first picks. In this case, it's banned, but I've seen so many Mars first phase picks, and teams are like, we can flex it, we can play it in the mid or in the off lane. And I see it in the being picked up in the mid, and 9 out of 10 times I see the Mars literally doing nothing the entire game. I'm like, why did you pick this?
It seems like the game is easier when you have like a initiator, a blink stun. At least for teams that they don't have much macro game, or they don't like have so much pocket strategies. That's why I guess teams go with Mars. But now that you have Sand King seems more like a more reliable hero. And if you're a Wolf team here, you're considering that Ravens can go Timber on the 8th pick, and that they can go Duza. So they need to prepare for both. I think Hoodwink Dragon Knight seems decent. Like, if you go Timber here against DK, it's good, but Hoodwink, you have the break. It's also a legit lane against both Duza and TB. So yeah, I like this opening from Wolf. Pretty default. And you see an Abaddon from Ravens to break that combo. Also super interesting.
Yeah, the Abaddon, it's I mean, it's always a nice tool against, especially the DK's very lengthy stun. Probably should buy a Quelling Blade just to deal with the Hoodwink later on as well. Just cut those trees constantly when she tries to get the pushbacks going. But yeah, Hoodwink, DK lane. I mean, everything kind of... DK has been like the main pick as the offlaner. The Sanking, DK, and Mars, I guess, are kind of the 3 big offlane picks in this current patch. And DK, the main reason why I see a lot of DK is because Murano's. Like, that combination of easy stun into arrow, in this case with the pushback, is just very easily handled. And well, 2.25 second stun on a level 1 spell is actually kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like DK is gonna be like, this opening is gonna be the most picked into this patch, because like Extreme Gaming, they were winning all matches in China, and they were playing like DK first pick, and they would eventually pick Hoodwink together. And then I believe OG did that opening, and then Liquid did that opening. So basically, like, all tier 2, tier 3 teams, they're just like, okay, let's try this opening too. And it's pretty solid. Like, you have DK, a hero that can go mid, can go offlane, so you have a flex. DK Hoodwink, like, is a lane that you cannot really win against it. You can, like, draw. But if they play well, like, cannot really punish those 2 heroes together. They're just so strong. So pretty reliable opening from Wolf, but again, I don't know if that's like a comfort from their team. I don't recall seeing King RD on that hero, and I'm pretty sure Tavo already played DK because he's like so old in the scene, but I don't recall as a like a standard hero from
to
Tavo.
be fair, like, DK is a you don't need to be able to be a specialist. Like, if you can play kind of anything, you can play DK. Hoodwink's a little bit tougher, but I assume that King RD definitely had his practice in, considering it's most of the time 4 position instead of a 5. Unless we're going to see some very strange, 40R mid Hoodwink, which I would love. But for the most part, yeah. It's kind of guaranteed that that's going to be their offlane duo. Of course, there's the chance that DK can mid, and the flexibility of the heroes. But honestly, some teams kind of flex so much that at one point they're like, okay, I don't really know. Like, they've got 4 heroes that can flex in a sense, and then their draft in the end looks absolutely horrible because they tried to flex a little bit too much in their draft.
Yeah, so I've checked here. Tavo, the last time he played DK was 7 months ago. It was before TI on that Dota Pit online event. And Kingão, he has 4 matches on Hoodwink so far. But it's a new hero somehow,
But what's
so
the win rate?
uh, he's 3-1.
Aye, yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And he probably scrims
So-
with it as well, I assume. I mean, it would be weird that they just picked it out of the blue. Plus, it's also a break
Yeah.
against Abaddon, which is already decent.
Now they have the hero on KJ. It can be like Ogre. It can be like Gyro. He loves playing Gyro 5, although we haven't seen picked yet. He played Enigma.
Dyer's turn to pick.
And he goes Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is pretty decent against Tiny. Tiny has no attack speed, not enough to kill the egg. You have attack speed reduction on your hero. You have HP percentile damage, so pretty decent. Especially when you're playing against hard carry Tiny, because when you're playing against mid Tiny, he can just like jump at you and burst you. So I'm interested to see if Ravens, if they're going with Tiny carry, which from their bans it looks like, but would be really nice to see it being flexed to a mid laner.
I personally like Tiny more as a mid laner. It feels currently in the pack. I mean, they banned the TA, but it does feel a lot of the time that like the teams have figured out Tiny safe. It's super strong in, of course, the early mid game, kind of like a Luna does, and it has ridiculous tower push like a Luna does. But honestly, it feels at one point like most other safe laners beat it. Like TA especially, TA Medusa, at one point they're just too tanky or survivable and Tiny can't one-shot them. And I like just the mid-Tiny where you roam around, get the Blink Dagger, go wild. Nengo goes for all the hunts, especially with a Coddle Sand King. Like, that's a very nasty gank squad if you want to. And now with the Lifestealer pick, I don't really think you want to play like Tiny safe lane.
Yeah. Because Tiny mid can also be decent against Lifestealer with an early dagger. You can really like picking off in the map. The new Avalanche, the way it works, you cannot press Rage while you're being comboed unless something goes wrong in the combo. So you can definitely burst the hero, but as hard carry, like if you're trading right clicks with Lifestealer, that's not what you really want. I'm kind of surprised with the Lifestealer pick. I do think it's decent, yes. Against Tiny, against all heroes on the other side, but I feel like it was such an amazing Faceless Void game. Because Faceless Void against Sand King, Coddle lane, it's so great. It's a hero that can protect the egg. You have so much potential with Chrono, so I'm kind of surprised they don't go that way.
Yes, but you also have like the Abaddon with the save. You've got the Coddle, which is also pretty tough for like in the Chrono, because he's got the heals, he's got the blinding light possibility, and Tiny one shots of Faceless Void as well. In like 90% of the game.
But like the thing I feel like when you scale, you're quite good on that matchup against Tiny, because you just like perma bash him.
Oh yeah, no.
When
you get to the late game, I 100% agree with you. It's just like Wolf Team's draft, so like Phoenix, Hoodwink, DK aren't really heroes that do much in like most of the game. It's like DK needs his blink before he does anything. Hoodwink's kind of annoying. Phoenix does nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I guess the W would have been good against the Coddle, but they do have a Lifestealer, so we need to think like about what they need on Ravens. If they go hard carry, then I actually like the Faceless Void for Ravens also. And if they go a mid laner, they want a mid laner that goes a very early Orchid to silence this Lifestealer. It can be like Queen of Pain, Batrider ban. You have... I'd say if you have something like an Ember Spirit, you can play together with Coddle, but I'd rather see a safe laner here. I'd rather see something like a Faceless Void, even maybe a PL. Nah, Faceless Void seems way better, to be honest. Okay.
They are gonna go for the Ember. Could technically also be a safe lane Ember, considering I've seen some Battle Fury Embers lately coming up.
Yeah, but from their playstyle, I don't really think
I mean,
so.
if you make it a Coddle 5, then just ignore the Abaddon for the most of the game. Just he's going to be a force support doing nothing. You could have a pretty nasty lane. Aggressive tri lane, maybe.
Can they go Necrophos here against Tiny Ember? Looks really good. Like Necrophos Hoodwing, not sure if it's a good lane. Necrophos mid could be amazing, but it's not very common. I feel like they can cheese something here, like Razor, Necrophos, Huskar.
Huskar would actually be amazing. Both team played it. I don't know if they play. Going to be a Timber.
You will enforce your will
What?
upon the battlefield.
There's some
today.
mid DK. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
god, that's
also-
disgusting.
It's also a cheese, but my understanding of that matchup is that Tiny is decent against Timber. I know when you think like, oh, it's like two strength heroes, Abaddon, Tiny, you should win the lane. But I don't know if you recall like the old X that people were playing as hard carry. And then you just think like, okay, it's a hard carry X, I'll just pick Timber and stomp this lane. And actually X won against Timber the lane usually. I feel like the same with Tiny. Tiny is just too strong. So you can't really abuse that lane. You cannot like cheese pick a Timber into a Tiny. I really think like this Timber can have a bad game, and that would be terrible for Wolf team.
Yeah, I honestly like the Ravens draft more. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of the tiny safe lane in this case, but I think the Ember Spirit has almost nothing to fear this game whatsoever. Like DK stun, hoodwinks, bushwhack. That's it. That's their control. I can just run away, jump the back line, kill everyone. They don't have like the greatest attack speed to deal with the Phoenix Egg, which is a little bit of a downside. But Ember in a game where you've also got a Coddle on your team, that is always a very scary prospect.
Yeah, you have like 3 ways to... Wait,
Prepare for
I have that bug with the fog reconnecting. But you have basically like 3 ways to deal with the egg. Like one is hitting the egg. If you have something like Lina, Ursa, or any hero with Bloodlust or Alacrity, that's one way. Second way is like just jump at Phoenix and you kill her before she can pop the egg. And the third way is you just kite it. And I think they can just kite it the egg. Not because they have something like a Centaur that's gonna stampede and they're gonna run away from it, but basically because there's no control on the side of Wolf team. Like you drop the egg, but how do you keep heroes in place?
DK stun
Like-
and bushwhack, that's it.
Yeah, feels so underwhelming, like against an Ember.
seconds and counting.
Yeah, and like there's an Abaddon to dispel your stun, so you have like kind of 2 stuns and have Abaddon. Feels bad for that Phoenix in
Yeah,
the game.
it's like Ember doesn't really care. He runs away. Coddle's running around with almost hasted movement speed once he has the spirit form on. Baden can just borrow time, slash aphotic shield someone who actually does get, like, the only one who's kind of screwed is the Tiny, because Sankin can even just burrow away in case it goes wrong. Like, they all have mobility. This Phoenix pick feels very off, and personally I think that Ravens is going to take game 1. To be fair, I'm also, you know, slightly biased because I think they're an amazing team.
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards Ravens way. I think they have the better draft. It makes sense. It's easier to make sense out of this draft. Feel like the pieces of Wolf team, they don't come up together. As I mentioned on their drafts, feels like they're drafting for ranked matchmaking and hoping like the players, they're gonna outplay the other team. Of course, there's space for this outplay. They're super skilled, but don't feel so good to be Wolf team here. If Kodo plays it well, he can have so many stacks for the Ember Spirit. I don't see any heroes that can steal that stack. I don't see like a DK stealing stack. I don't see a Lifestealer doing it. The only way I could see it is if actually Timber played the safe lane and they played like a aggressive tri lane on top. That would make some sense because then Kodo cannot stack. But the way it looks really bad for Wolf team.
Mid lane, you've got 4DR on the DK versus Nengo, and that's honestly not a bad lane for Nengo at all. Should be able to not die and just continue to farm.
Yeah, the thing is, 4DR should hit level 6 before him, because you can always go for the Dragon Tail and deny on the range creep. But it doesn't mean much if you just get like 6 ahead. Like you cannot really pressure the tower with the catapult, because like having a Phoenix colliding mid is not that useful. Hoodwink can be useful, yes, but I feel like Kotl with the Chakra is way more useful on that mid lane fight. So he can get some advantage on those denies, but there's not much he can build on that advantage.
Ganking is, it is definitely a little bit scary though as well, because you've got an Ember, so you make a mistake on the side lanes, he can easily TP / catch you. That might be a thing. Disma in the meantime, this is what I love to see. He is not count. I don't know if he did try to count toward the small camp, but he's not count towarding it because it's very useless for Kotl to count toward it, considering you can just farm it.
Yeah, that's what's so good about this hero. But Phoenix seems like a hero that you can annoy. Oh, that blast was super weird. Yeah. Okay, that was a super weird play from Kotl. Just giving free denies to HFN. But like Phoenix, you can actually find Kotl in the trees and kind of give information of where his Illuminate is at. So Ravens, Dismar, he's doing the right thing now, which is stacking. That's the thing that Phoenix cannot do anything against it. So he should focus a bit more on stacking than on trying to set up kills on the lane.
Ew. I really hope that 4DR, like, I see him going for a bracer and then close the face, and I hope that's just for power treads. Because I'm so terrified if it's going to be a Midas idea on the DK, which I just really just despise.
He's not the type of player that would go Midas here. He's super like team oriented. He knows HFN and Tavo are super greedy. So when you have 2 super greedy cores, you know you cannot be the third one, and he's very conscient about it. So I doubt he's going Midas. I guess he's just like going for that extra attack speed because he feels like he doesn't need boots on this lane, which is right. There's no ganking power on the hero. So he just wants to dominate the lane by denying creeps, which he's doing super well with 10 denies. And that extra attack speed helps him somehow on that.
I'm holding my heart, because I've been surprised by, like, PL's going for Hand of Midas as well, and Terrorblade's going for Hand of Midas in this patch, and I do not like it. Honestly, I just don't like Hand of Midas on anyone except for probably Arc Warden, which is a dead hero right now, or Quas Exort Voker.
It's 4DR. You don't need to worry. Like, if it was HFN playing mid, which he used to, you should be worried on that sense, but knowing the player, I'll be extremely surprised by this choice.
Okay, I'll hold you to it. Better not happen. But yeah, 4DR will of course get his level 6 faster, which is pretty nice because he does of course put a lot of pressure at that point on the Ember.
Yeah, the thing is like they have so much shove potential on the wave, like with Kotl Illuminate, with the Chakra magic on top of the Slide of Fist. So he can't really pressure with that catapult, which is the issue. Like he can go top, but then it's also like a Tiny, which is a hero which is super hard to gank. So kind of rough game for a DK mid. And as I mentioned, if you look at the net worth on the top lane, Tiny is doing better than the Timber. So you don't really want this when you pick Timber Soul.
Yeah, on paper, of course, it's a strength hero, so you should quote-unquote beat his ass, but Tiny, I mean, he's got, of course, Tree Grab, which gives him that stupid attack range and cleave and whatnot. It's too easy hit right-click creeps and deny it, which Timbersaw is actually really bad at, like, killing creeps. Nengo in mid is actually in a very big amount of trouble, and King RD rotates through, just walks in, hits the bushwhack, gets the kill. But yeah, the downside of Timbersaw is, of course, against the Tiny, if you even want to go on the Tiny to try and kill him, he just tosses you away or avalanches you to keep you busy.
Man, SA mid laners, Like, that was the very small window for the Airhead to do something when he has 6 and Ember needs like 2-3 creeps to the level 6. And he gave that window for 4DR to kill him, get a DD rune. It's just like, the mid laners in South America, they are so like disrespectful towards each other. Like they don't care if the other hero is level 6 and you're not. If like they have help on the rune, they just want to fight and fight and fight. So kind of a bad decision on the side of Ravens here, which opened up for that first blood. Should not have happened, to be honest.
Yeah, but on the other hand, you know, it was King RDK got a kill. He walked away. Classic King RD style.
But it's like, it's a Timber top, so they know Hoodwink has been missed for a long time. Like, she's been stacking, controlling runes, and of course, around mid, he just needed to wait one wave to be level 6 and not worry about anything.
Is dead. Davo, he got level 6, and Dad at that point was easy. Plus, it's also, you know, Hoodwink plus Timbersaw is actually a pretty nice combo. Like, with the Acorn shot and whatnot.
Yeah, and again was that, like, he was missing 1 creep to the level 6, which probably would made him survive. So again, like, Wolf team, they're playing really well on that small advantage they have on XP, and on the other way, Ravens, they've been neglecting that.
Top's looking a little bit dicey now. Tavo is starting to go ham, and yeah, I mean, the moment he hits level 6, everything changes, of course, because Chakram does a stupid amount of damage. And they're losing all 3 lanes at the moment on the side of Ravens. Not like massively. Of course, Dismar is also getting a bit of farm on the Coddle, but definitely losing it as we can see. Rotate towards mid. Illuminate Blast as Bupkis. Because he, well, it's a DK with double bracer, power treads, and 2 gauntlets, so he's got a stupid amount of HP. Okay, he made it into a soul ring, but 1600 HP DK in 8 minutes.
Yeah, this hero is quite broken. But let's see how much time it takes to take this mid tier 1 tower if they want to defend with Kodo, because Kodo is actually rotating top to get his level 6.
The rune of regeneration.
So he could do some more damage there till Kodo has 6. Already 2k advantage, that's pretty good for Wolf.
No.
That's definitely looking not too shabby here for the Wolf team in the start of the game, though the team fight, I would say, definitely favors Ravens. So once you get to the point where Blink Daggers are being picked up and the like, it does possibly turn in the favor of the Ravens, because that's kind of where it gets scary. And then there's another moment where, of course, Wolf team gets incredibly dangerous with the Lifestealer late game. And Dismar got taken out by Tavo top, while I was in the meantime looking at KJ getting taken down by Nengo.
I was just gonna say that Dismar, he could shove top like for hours, that no hero had catch to kill him, but then he just stepped so far away from the tower and died. So yeah, kind of a misplay from Dismar. He could have played safer, but on the other hand, it's a super good ward placed by King RD, so props to King RD on that ward. So he got vision of Kodo rotating there. Nengo trying to go for King Gao. So, and he gets it.
Yeah, it's Nengo is trying to find a couple of kills. Both kills have been secured by him solo so far. He's got the Orb of Corrosion finished up as well, which is a very big nuisance if you try to run away towards mid. KJ is actually going for the Hand of Midas on the Phoenix. Okay. Also not a fan of that.
But I guess he realizes one of the weaknesses of their draft, like, they can definitely take this tier 1 tower. Fang has.
Big blast, 40 yard, does he get away? Sleight of fist, chase in from Nengo. He does get a 2-man root, gets the kill as well. Phoenix Egg gets dropped in the middle of the fight. Do they have the right clicks to take it down? The supports are mowing down the Phoenix Egg, and yes, indeed, it drops. Scarra will be taken down. He now has his Tome of Knowledge, but it's a 3-for-1 trade in mid. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of the downside of just not having the control to really keep them there and make sure the egg goes off.
Yeah, there was an egg there and a Timber running all the way. I feel like they can take this tier 1s without much trouble, even against a Kodo, because they have Timber, DK. But on the other hand, oh, they want to go for the Timber.
Well, they are. It's not an easy target. I mean, he's got infused raindrops with Defiance, 24 reactive armor stacks on him, so like probably the worst target to go on this game.
Yeah, but then once they get this tier 1 tower, what they can do with it? Like, they cannot Rosh. Look at their lineup. It's a very slow Rosh. They need to pop DK ulti. They need like, I don't even know how much time they need to take this Rosh. Maybe past 20 minutes.
HFN just needs to get his, I guess, second. It depends. Or I don't really see life stealers that much. Is it Armlet Deso that they build, or?
Invisibility.
Because if it's Armlet Deso, then the moment he has Deso, he kind of can take down Roche with any of his other teammates tanking it.
I'm not so sure if he needs something like a Sanj to survive. I think Deso would be quite greedy. Because it has like no cover, no saves.
Okay. Yeah. True to a degree, Dad. He wants to farm the ancient stack, but there is a squirrel nearby, and so is HFN. They're trying to make sure that the ancient stack does not get farmed. He does have the Echo Saber, which does make it get mowed down quicker. However, like Ancient Frost Bitten Giant, HFN, he quickly runs away before any shenanigans come out. Snipe even thrown out for good measure. They disengage quickly because, I mean, honestly, that's a very dangerous position to walk into.
Yeah, they should be able to better protect it. I mentioned like Lifestealer cannot steal those stacks because at least he was not supposed to be able to. Like, they just throw bodies at this triangle and there's no way the Lifestealer can stay there.
Dismar does have himself the Spirit Vessel now done, which is a really good item this game. I mean, they just mainly have a stupid amount of healing and regen on the side of Wolf Team. Yeah, but Kara's just there to defend Nengo. Whatever happens, being a good little support Abaddon.
And bot, they want Benhas.
Let's go for the straight TP. Bushwhack missed. No chance. I mean, it's kind of Bushwhack or DK stun, that's it.
That's kind of weird, because like, 4DR he went for his blink reveal in the mid lane against an Ember. Like, there was zero chance he was getting a kill alone there. I don't know if he wanted to carry out the enemy team, but then they're trying at the same time a play on the bot lane. And now Kingão dead.
Yeah, you're taking down Spirit Vessel used so that he's gonna get 2 charges regardless anyway. Might as well. And yeah, Nengo currently, he's gotten 5 of their 6 kills on the side of Ravens. So he's the one really doing the work. And he's going Deso. Yeah. He's actually going Deso first item on Ember.
I think he's fine with that because he has Abaddon to cover him. That's the thing I was mentioning. Like, it's not about how does a Lifestealer itemize or how does an Ember Spirit itemize. It depends on your team.
Yeah, but not
so
going
the Lifestealer.
That's more my point. Just going straight Deso. You don't see that too often.
I think he's building a lot of the slide of his damage because of the Kodo. So could make some sense on that. But I think Maelstrom would make sense also, like to help him farm. But I believe like his approach is Tiny's gonna be farming, Ten King's gonna be farming, and I'm gonna be the one chasing kills with Kodo. But still, I think like Maelstrom is also really good to chase kills with.
Yeah, they are up against like almost full strength lineup. Normally have almost no armor, so Slight the Fist, get that going. The Tiny walks in, gives him the old smack-a-doodle, and they destroy him. 4DR, gonna get burrowed upon. That Spirit Vessel is actually doing a lot of work right now. Snipe comes out. 4DR lost so much HP from just the Spirit Vessel, and now KJ, Icarus dive back, burrowed on the side, will lose his life, and 2 new charges added in for Dismar. Yeah, that
feels like the blinding light saved 4DR.
I think he'd be just fine, considering Tavo was heading that direction regardless.
Dire's bottom tower is under scanning for enemies.
So Wolf Team, they're keeping ahead the net worth advantage, but still, like, it seems like there's not much they can do in the map. Meanwhile, they want to go for HFN. All he needs to is that force the Ravage.
Oh, he just
he's
popped
the
his
Ravage.
rage. Goes into the creeps. There's the solar bind, slow it down, and now he does not have a way out. He just uses only 2 escapes back to back. And yeah, that's a very big mistake by HFN.
And they want to go for more. Woodwing. Did I say they need to pop his Ravage? I feel like I said that.
I honestly cannot remember.
I'm like, they need to force the Rage, and I guess it said Ravage. Meanwhile, Benhas found 4DR.
Tavo TP's out in the meantime. He's just gonna go for the bottom lane where 4DR is gonna get jumped, and 4DR is gonna get knocked out. Dad going for the TP away because they don't have any control. They need a Yules on Tavo or something to make sure that they get control going. Kara just trying to disengage, but that is a Abaddon without any escape. He does have a magic wand. Tavo actually. Oh, the bird comes in on the backline going for KJ. He gets a big fat blast, drops the egg, and just does not have the attack speed to kill it off. So he thinks HFN going in for Dismar, and that's a big kill. Dismar is pretty much a big nuisance. Look at the damage coming up from Nengo. Slide to fist with that Deso though. Epicenter Benjas. Burrow in, drops KJ. Kara is still nearby. Why is he even walking in this direction?
Yeah, I guess he wanted to give vision for Nengo to try to snipe Kingão. Yeah, a team fight they almost won, but Phoenix was able to pop Dag, which kind of changed the direction of the team fight. But still, it feels like Wolf, they don't have the damage to kill any cores. They can go for the Koro, they might be able to go for the Abaddon, but it's so hard to kill the Ember, or the Sand King, or the Tiny.
Yeah, Tiny 2.4k HP. Of course, you know, Lifesteal is a tank buster in that regard. And he does have his Deso now done, so, you know, late game, you definitely have the damage to deal with Tiny. I'm getting just a little bit worried about the Ember Spirit though. Nengo is doing all the work this game so far for the side of Ravens. And he does a lot of damage. I mean, that Sleight of Fist with the Searing Chains route, and he just almost dropped the supports from 100 to 0.
And a smoke here from Wolf. They
Tavo.
are the ones being caught.
He's rooted up. TP coming in from HFN, but there's already the kill coming through. Dismar from behind gets stunned. They used both their stuns already. Buyback actually even used by Tavo. In the process, Nengo, look at that Sleight of Fist damage. Holy crap. That's actually insane. From just a Deso and an Orb of Corrosion.
Yeah, buyback on Tavo. It was his first death, his 5-1, and they wanted to Roche. And Ravens, they should be able to fight that, but I don't think they know Wolf Team's doing that. Otherwise, they should be there, because they definitely have the tools to contest it. But seems like, yeah, they're gonna be able to do it, get it for free. Maybe they leave the Aegis with the Timber that bought back, or yeah, it's HFN. It's gonna be with. Oh no, it's gonna be with Timber. No.
No, HFN.
Okay.
You know, they just wants to BM his teammate. You can pick it up, then scoops it up himself. Haha, gotcha.
Yeah, because Timber freed the slot, so I'm like, is it for him? That's quite good to have this Aegis. It allows HFN to farm more abused in the map, to steal some farm from Raven's area because they don't want to initiate him. But still, feels, even though it's 1k ahead and Aegis for Wolf Team, it feels so bad to be Wolf Team here. They can't kill heroes. That Timber last pick, even though the hero was 5-0, didn't seem good at all.
And they need, he's going for the Blink next, which I kind of like, but they need like Yule Scepters or something to interrupt. Phoenix now has the Hand of Midas, so still can't really do anything, but it's nice. Dad's gonna get jumped, Kara trying to heal up his buddy, but Dad's taking a lot of damage. Dad's already just straight up dead. KJ gets the Phoenix Egg off in the end as well. That's gonna be a double kill coming through in favor of Wolf Team. They will lose the Squirrel in the meantime, because Nengo is still alive and kicking. And
That's
Kara
not so good for Wolf.
jumped as well, but yeah, that does die pretty quickly.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah, he was kind of baiting with the Abaddon cover, and like he has seen all the 5 heroes colliding there and stayed there. Like it does make sense that you bait the hero which has Aegis to TP to their safest tower and get away from their tower, but staying there, I guess, was too much. With Phoenix and the Hoodwink, they actually do have the damage to kill the Tiny. That is what it seems like. But the thing is, like, if Tiny just have a 4 staff on him, which Koro's gonna have with 200 gold, they don't have the lockdown. So Ravens slipped a bit here, but they should be still fine.
It does have some nice additions here. You've got the Sand King going for the Yule Scepter. For the R's getting close to his BKB. Nengo, same story, almost has his BKB done. He's actually going to go for the BKB instead of the Silver Edge finisher. Okay. I mean, makes sense. Like, if he has a BKB, the only one that can really hurt him is the Lifestealer. And to be fair, HFN is going for the Basher. Like, HFN is very farmed.
Yeah, this Basher is what they actually need to lock down a core on the enemy team and kill him. But he can only do that because he has the Aegis. Otherwise, it's so easy to burst. And they're smoked. They're gonna find Benhas.
Oops.
Nope.
Is unfortunate timing that he just popped the Sandstorm. But the tier 2 tower in mid does drop pretty quickly.
fortified. Radiant's top tower
Nonetheless, you know, you are up against a Coddle, the greatest base defender the world has ever seen. So they immediately jump on him, try and get the kill, pump fake the Epi. I mean, yeah, you group up one moment, you get completely obliterated by the damage from Ravens.
Yeah, Ember has his BKB on the way. Might be looking for a fight, but they don't need to. They just need to wait that 1.5 minute on the Aegis. Also, oh, BKB on Tiny. They might even fight into Aegis. Seems like.
HFN, Rage has been used. Nengo gets sniped. The break comes out. That's his last Fire Remnant, though. That is pretty problematic if they want to take a fight on the side of the Ravens.
Yeah, they were actually like baiting other heroes from Wolf Team to appear because they definitely don't want to go on the Lifestealer. But I think the wise move here would be just to wait for that 1 minute. So you can go on any target.
Got the Basher being delivered now. That Lifestealer is nutty, but I also see Nengo. He's going for the Chrysalis. He's going for the old classic. I mean, not as classic where you get like the Battle Fury build, but Deso, Daedalus. Yeah, that's also pretty A-okay. I mean, I just love to see it. It's different. I have seen a little bit more of the physical damage Ember in this batch, though. I mean, of course, with the changes to Sleight of Fist, where you can actually farm with it now, considering it doesn't reduce the damage that you do to creeps, it does make it a little bit more interesting than in the previous patch.
Yeah, especially because he's playing against 4 strength heroes. Timber, Lifestealer, DK, Phoenix. So they're low armor, or they should be. I know DK has the Dragon Blood on top, but then it makes a lot of sense to have physical damage instead of magical damage if you're playing against low armor. And soon Tiny's gonna have a Silver Edge. That means DK armor is gonna be gone. So makes sense when you see it all together with the Silver Edge. That does make sense. And smoke from Wolf Team again. They have a pretty new Blink Dagger on 4DR.
Bug broken, jumps in, and Fast Bomb immediately going for Dismar. They get the kill. Benjels needs to run away. Doesn't have a burrow available. Yules to keep himself alive. But Benjels is going to be a second one. Then both do not have a buyback available.
They want to force high ground. They do have a catapult. There's no glyph on Raven's side, and that means they're gonna be able to take the tier 3 tower. It really seems like.
Don't really see how they defend that. Currently, Nengo is trying to cut the mid wave, even taking down the enemy tier 1 tower, or at least attempting to take the enemy tier 1 tower. But yeah, that's just going to be mid set of racks picked up for the Wolf Team. Their best high ground defenders are both dead.
Yeah, pretty smart move from Wolf Team.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They got a Koro, the best target possible, and a wave of hack.
A sudden
Maybe they cannot team fight, but with a pick off, they just take one lane so fast. The hero that they take is the Koro.
And next item for the Kado going for Ags, but well, that's going to take quite some time to be able to farm that up. Though it is a Kado, and it's the greatest item the world's ever seen. But so far, you know, Wolf Team 5k lead, take a full set of racks in their favor. We are in a 26-minute game, and there's been 24 kills. That's less than a kill per minute. This is South America, guys. What's happening? Oh, Dismar top lane. Nice catch coming out. And again, King RD making plays.
Dismar should better understand his role at this game, which is like just be alive and play a bit safer. Yeah. His hero can make so much on this game. Maybe a Glimmer Cape to help the positioning would be great.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of an issue for him at the moment. I mean, Andisk is always, you know, the one that you think of immediately when you think about trying to stay alive. Because even with the Glimmer, like, you get hit by that pushback, you're just straight up dead. Like, it's not a very survivable hero. It's very fast if you're not stunned, but the moment you get stunned, you get obliterated.
So that has the Silver Edge. The review is gonna be to farm a wave. But still, he should be TPing top for that second Roche fight, which can decide the game, the way the game's going.
I heard an Epi Burrow going for HFN top side, but they're fighting in a different direction. The Phoenix gets dropped. They immediately disengaged from the fight. Epicenter was used. They're going to go in onto Benjus, but there's the shield from Kara trying to keep his buddy Sanking alive. Bro to low ground. Disengage. Infest Bomb. Dismar, that's the target. He pushes them back, but he is going to get stunned. He's going to get blown to smithereens. Kara as well. His teammates are all towards the tower and running away, and Kara is going to be left behind. Nice pushback coming out, but that does do a lot of damage. KJ! Icarus dive forward. They're losing their entire team. Benjus is still available. That actually blows up KJ for good measure. Doesn't want to go for the TP attempt, and rightfully so, is going to get dusted up. Trying to keep HFN at bay, but he is eventually going to slowly get choked out and die.
Yeah, feels like Wolf Team, they totally outplayed on that team fight. Again, they go for that attempt to burst the Phoenix. And he's able to pop that, even he doesn't have Aeon or doesn't have El Scepter.
I mean, they kind of went for two people. Like, they've used Epi on HFN in the top, so, eh.
Yeah, I don't know if Wolf Team outplayed the team fight or Ravens outplayed themselves. Feels like if they just go for the same target, it could have worked, but it was like super weird team fighting.
Trying to burst two people at the same time, which is pretty problematic. I mean, Tiny can do a decent amount of damage, but Lifesteal is pretty tanky. Like, he's got the AC now done, 2.8k HP, he's got a ton of armor. So this Lifestealer is not an easy target whatsoever.
Yeah. Just feels like the game is totally on the hands of Wolf Team now. Because if they couldn't kill HFN without Aegis, imagine now with Aegis. And Phoenix gonna have the A on this, which is the target they were trying to burst to have a team fight. Things look really bad for Ravens now.
Also, Davo's got the Axe and the Shard, which makes this Timber Saw like a massive power spike in damage.
Yeah.
Ben
looks rough.
heading bottom. Kara going for the straight TP out. Tengo's got the Chrysalis done. Just going for the Daedalus, it seems. I kind of also like the Scotty, but the Daedalus makes sense at this point in the game. You're just trying to get the damage in, and they do go for Tavo. The heal, though, in return is a bit of a problem. Benjus, Epicenter comes out. Tavo does lose his life, and that's a 1-for-1 trade, but Tavo was the very costly death.
Yeah, that's the dieback on Tavo. which makes it 100 seconds to come back. He's gonna have a buyback in 1 gold. I'm not so sure if he wants to buy back and go all in on that, or even they feel like they can go around high ground without Tavo, which makes the position of Dismar really weird again. He has no TP at all, and he's getting his jungle post.
Yeah, yeah, like they're not ready to fight whatsoever, and HFN's just taking the base.
Yeah, I think they should be like that's a free tier 3 tower after they get the pick off, just because. Yeah, I guess they didn't think Wolf team was gonna pressure here, and you see 4DR has a Orchid now, which is maybe because of that lack of control. Having the silence on top of the stun could help him burst targets. Although Ember Spirit and Tiny do have BKBs, Sand King has Il Scepter. This could help burst Koro, maybe? Or just force BKBs.
Well, Nengo's got the full Daedalus, so Slight Fist does hurt. They're gonna smoke out. There is...
Oh, a DD on the way.
Oh, Dad, he doesn't have a blink though. Does have a DD, picks it up, walks up. Everyone dodging each other. 4DR does have his BKB available. The bird comes in. Do they have the damage? Avalanche toss, and yep, that's a double damage Tiny for you. Don't want to pop the BKB, then your Tiny's gonna pop you. That's a bit of a mistake.
That DD can be a game changer for a Tiny lineup. Although he doesn't have daggers, so I feel like he can be really, really kited on the team fight.
Going for the MKB. Wait, what? Who has evasion?
Lifestealer 20 talent.
Yeah, 16% evasion. Okay.
And Hoodwink with the Scurry.
I mean, you don't care about the hood. Wait, what?
Oh.
Nengo gets soloed by HFN. Abyssal Blade reveal. Oh, well, in the meantime, they're fighting in mid as well. Tavo going aggressive. HFN is solo top, and I mean, he's got the H, of course, so he feels invulnerable, but he actually kills off Nengo solo.
Yeah, it's weird that Ravens, they don't even try to go for like taking out these Aegis because they know HFN is totally alone there. They're just like respecting too much HFN, of course. He just solo killed their mid laner.
Well, this is looking rougher and rougher by the minute. 40 seconds until the Aegis is reclaimed. And yeah, with Nengo dead, you can't really take a fight either. And at the downside, I guess Dad's trying to quickly get the MKB.
Oh, there's a dagger on Timbersaw. Okay.
I mean, yeah, that tends to happen a lot more these days. I love it, actually. But just the snipe doesn't connect, but the damage is definitely there. HFN hurts like crazy. So does the 40R DK. They're gonna go deep, and they're just forcing them back.
He has buyback
All the way towards the fountain.
Dire's top barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is no more.
Dan's doing some split push shenanigans and finishes up his MKB, but yeah, they only have one set of racks, and there's not much defending it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, it feels like Wolf, they never really took a team fight, but they're totally outplaying Ravens in the map. Just like experienced players outplaying the very skilled younger generation by like having a Lifestealer solo kill an Ember Spirit while Ravens team wanted to fight nearby their tower.
And knows he's got the damage to burst down an Ember, because Ember does, like, he's got 2 items that give him no stats. Of course, BKB gives decent stats, but it's not a very survivable hero if they eventually get on top of you. And he, because of course, the heroes that Wolf team are playing with, he kind of never thought that would be the case. He went for a bit more, I mean, with the BKB, not full glass cannon, but as close as you can pretty much make it and still and not get reported for throwing the game.
Wolf team, they do know the enemy team is smoked, and they go for a counter smoke. The thing is, there's a DD again. Negoflow, he should drop the bottle. No.
No.
Seriously, this can really change the game for them if they drop the bottle. Like, you have a Tiny that can pop up a DD anytime. Not anytime, but anything on the next 1.5 minutes. But then you just go directly for it. And there's no Scepter on the enemy team to dispel it, so...
Well, they are cutting the wave. The top lane's being pushed in. They're all TPing back. And yeah, I mean, they could probably have even gone for like the split push and take down the bottom set of racks if they hurried up on the side of Wolf team while they were taking the tier 2 tower mid. Oh, but look at the position. Dad doesn't have that double damage anymore, unfortunately, for the Ravens, but they are playing Ring Around the Rosie. Coming in from behind, spot out King RD. Dot does not have the blink. Will be able to get the kill onto the Hoodwink. 50 seconds, no Squirrel.
Yeah, no buyback for King RD because he bought a Octarine. So those are the 40 seconds.
Okay, going for a fight. Tavo taking a bit of a tickle. But yeah, he does do a ton of damage. I mean, Kara almost got blown up. I mean, to be fair, he's got board time still, but you definitely have to be careful because there are instances where the damage can be a little bit too much.
Roche up in 1 minute. If Wolf wins, that's the final fight. If Ravens win the fight, they have like a chance.
Definitely. I mean, there's definitely a possibility, but it is getting pretty dicey here for the side of Ravens. Next Roche, of course, third one, should either give a nice refresh or Ags, and free Ags is always something that an Ember Spirit would love to have. How far is, what's Dismark going for? Okay, his next item's going to be the Scythe, which is nowhere nearby, but he's going for it.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting now is Switch Heroes have buyback, so both supports doesn't. Actually, Phoenix has a buyback, and Timber doesn't have one. So it's gonna be a fight that can be like 10 against 10. So it's quite interesting to keep our buyback up instead of, let's say, Sand King going for a BKB. Meanwhile, Tiny, he starts hitting the Roche. If they just keep right-clicking the Roche, they can do it maybe before the team fight pops up.
Yeah,
that's what they want to go for.
The Phoenix Egg is kind of scary. They're trying to burst it down. Do they have the damage for DRs here? Blinks into the Roche, but there's the Infest. Nango needs to get himself out. The stun from the Abyssal Blade comes out. Does stay alive. Roshan is going to be the main target here. Epicenter from Banjas. Burrow in onto the pit. Grab everything from Roshan. It's on the floor. Eat the cheese. There's still an Aegis on the floor somewhere. It does get picked up by the Tiny, who's got the everything. Currently, Negoflow with the Sleight of Fist on the side. Who picked every item piece is going to be Dot getting completely controlled. All the buybacks being used on the side of Ravens, and that fight is definitely a big win for Wolf team. Even though the Aegis got snatched and the cheese as well, there is... Who got the Ags? I was trying to find the Ags during that fight, but...
Did they right-click it? Here's a chance.
It must have been. But that's going to be Megas secured any second now. Burrow on the side on 40R. They can just focus down the melee racks and secure Megas. Oh, Nengo, he's in trouble. Does not even get the BKB off. Does have an immediate buyback coming out. Dad running through. But Dad, the fact that he doesn't have a blink is actually disastrous for the Titan. Like, he can't even get close to the back line, ever.
Yeah. I feel Wolf team, they built better and they fought way better. Also, like, Ember, he should just have died and bought back to the Remnant because he had like 0 HP and was going back base, you know, like 10 HP. And Tiny was left alone, so they could all in on that fight on the road street with Aegis. They decided to defend the base, which I don't think so.
Oh, they're gonna go for Dad right now and try and finish it off. There's the Ancient under siege. They still have fortification available. They're delayed for a little bit longer, but HFN, he's just right-clicking it down and doesn't really care that much. The heals come out from the Sunray from KJ. It's a little bit too much. They finally get the kill onto the Tiny, but the rest of the team is just focusing on the Ancient, and that's going to be the game for Wolf Team. And yeah, Ravens honestly looked very lost this game. Like, no team coordination whatsoever. Roche was a little bit chaotic, so we're just going to ignore that one. But there was definitely, like, some moments where Ravens just, like, a player got caught off here. The team fights that they should have the advantage in just never really came through. Like, they jumped the Life Stealer at the same time as the Phoenix, spread the damage, which they were definitely at that point against a full strength lineup pretty much severely lacking. So yeah, not looking too great. But Wolf Team, I mean, they did exactly what they had to. Tavo went nuts, 13-2.
Yeah, just feel like Wolf Team, they executed way better a draft that was harder to execute. Like, they were the ones running the draft without stuns, but they were the ones like getting one pick off and just getting a free Rex out of that. Meanwhile, Ravens, I guess the first time they run that Koto and looked very underwhelming. It's a hero that with better positioning, he could just be shoving waves over and over, and there was nothing Wolf Team could have done. But yeah, just feels like Wolf Team, they definitely outplayed Ravens, and they have the 1-0, and they do look super hot on that series. They do look way better, but you never know. It's Division 2, what we were mentioning. Every team can beat every team. Sometimes it depends on a draft, on a comfort pick, that you find that win.
In this case, it definitely felt like, I mean, the last pick Timbersaw looked pretty good to me. Tavo definitely very comfortable on the hero. It's not necessarily always the best hero for the situation, but the best hero for the player in this case. However, that's only the first in this best of 3. Ravens still have a chance to get themselves back in the swing of things. For that, we'll have to quickly go to a commercial and wait until game 2 starts. We'll be right back.